So I always get asked the question, should I be using more UGC or should I use static in my ad accounts, whether it's across Meta or whether it's across TikTok? So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to break down the pros and cons of UGC and static and show you the exact reason what you should be using, why you should be using, and where you should be using it. So let's get into this video. And if you do like content like this, make sure you subscribe, like, hit the bell notification for more of this type of content. Let's go. Okay, so I'm going to break down exactly UGC versus static ads because this is a question that comes up quite a lot. Some people think that you should utilize one or the other, but realistically, even though, like I say, 90% of what we do is UGC, we don't say no to static ads because static ads are great for any brand who are running ads. So again, you don't want to feel like static ads shouldn't be utilized. And static ads seem to have disappeared, but the fact is they've always worked and they always will work, but you need to have diversification when it comes to the ads you have in your account, whether like I say it is UGC, whether it's static ads, whether it's also GIFs as well. You want to have a mixture of them because then again, it gives you a lot you can play with and a lot you can utilize. So what I'm going to do in this, I'm going to break down exactly UGC versus static and the reason why you should be combining them both together to drive conversions for your brand. So let's break this down. So what we do in terms of the benefits of, let's first of all start with UGC. Okay, so why we utilize UGC so much? Because the fact is, it's the authenticity. So imagine in terms of if you're a brand, if you're not doing this and you're just using static ads right now, how do you come across to the audience in terms of showcasing what your brand is all about from a person talking about the brand? If you've got statics, there's only so much a person can take in. Like I say, with a video, you've got at least whether it's 15 seconds, 30 seconds to kind of showcase and make it feel like your brand is actually relatable to someone who's actually watching the creative. Because like I say, they're created by real people. Yes, there might be creators, influencers or whatever, but at the same time, there are people speaking on behalf of your brand. So again, you can have the authenticity. That's what UGC is all about. It allows you to showcase that. It allows you to bring people into your community and starts to build upon that, which again then starts to move into that credibility. Because again, social proof. People buy from people buy from social proof. So again, if you can showcase whether you're using UGC mashups where you've got multiple variation of different creators or different people utilizing that, whether it is actual creators or whether it is actual people who've just reviewed the actual product to actual customers, again, putting it all together into UGC and package it into a good storytelling piece of content works really well. So again, it will allow you to enhance your brand and like I say, showcase more proof in terms of that credibility side of things. And then finally, just in terms of relevance, because again, content is created by people who are similar to target audience. So again, if someone, if your product is focusing on 25-year-old females, if you've got someone in your actual content who's 25 and around that, again, people can see that. So again, if it's a skincare product, someone actually putting on the actual product, someone can relate to that because they can see that. And it's not necessarily a mirror, but they can actually see that. They can feel, okay, if this works for this person, this can work for me. So again, making it relatable and engaging will help build that relevance. So like I say, authenticity, credibility, relevance, the main things why you need to be focusing on UGC ad creatives and adding it into the mix. But with that, like I say, you want to make sure that you still are having static ads, okay? Because static ads work. And the great thing with static ads is the consistency. So again, it offers a brand to be able to obviously utilize their messaging tone, which obviously has that brand identity. Because the thing is with obviously UGC, it's going to be from a point of view of someone else. But with your actual static, you can obviously then incorporate your brand colors, your brand messaging. And again, you start to then reach out to people and they understand that branding. So again, if your branding is all about light blue and obviously bubble writing or stuff like that, again, you can showcase that within the actual static ads, where you can't necessarily show that in the actual UGC because again, you're going to want probably text that's going to be suited to the platforms, whether you're running on TikTok or you're running on Meta, for example. Okay, but the great thing as well, you get control because again, you'll be able to create the messaging, and again, you can do this all easily in house. But whereas, say, if you are handing it off to a creator, then again, it makes it a little bit different. Say, you obviously got control in terms of you send them a voiceover guidance or in terms of a brief, but at the same time, it might not be exactly what you want to have. Whereas in terms of when you have static ads, again, you can utilize this quite easily, which goes to the next point because it is cost effective. So if something is wrong in terms of in a static ad and you're doing this in-house, it's easy to get your team to make that change easily. Whereas in terms of whether it is a a UGC ad, whether you then, the package, the video comes back, but you maybe don't like something in it, okay? So it's a lot harder to change that. You can definitely change that, but there's going to be more time involved. There might be more cost involved as well in terms of that perspective. And it's like, say, if you're a smaller brand and they say you're limited to budget, that's why a lot of brands focus on the static side of things. But I always say, yes, it's cost effective, but at the same time, the cost effectiveness of not running actual UGC ads might be a more detrimental effect. Because like I say, if you are using UGC ads and static ads combined together, it's going to bring down your CPA overall. So again, you've got to figure out that cost to get into the game in terms of UGC. Yes, it might be a little bit of investment, but that investment will pay off in the long run. So with that being said, when we're looking at UGC, I'm going to just talk about two types of UGC ads to utilize. And again, there's multiple different that you can go with, but like I say, these are two ones that kind of go hand in hand. And you can, like I say, you can build out frameworks based on this. So the first one is obviously that storytelling style. So again, you can call out your ideal customer. It's easy to do this within the actual UGC side of things, because again, if your audience, for example, and here the example is some people who like hot sauce because it's a hot sauce brand. So again, upgrade your hot sauce. So again, you're talking to people who like hot sauce, okay? Or if you're using a skincare brand, stop using product A, use product B, okay? Again, you can start to call your audience out. And this is why as well, we say you don't need to be focusing too much on targeting. Because when we run ads right now, we run literally just across broad. Because again, we want the algorithm to kind of find our audience. But again, we want people who are actually going to be the audience to stop on the ad, okay? So we're going to call them out, hook them in with that storytelling style. And then with then onwards, you can start to build out your framework. So again, with the storytelling, you want to have your hook. You want to have a story behind it. So again, you want to like talk about the problem in terms of, okay, I'm going to use hot sauce, for example. The problem could be, I've tried multiple different hot sauces in the past. Some of you have been too hot, too tangy, not tasted well. And it was getting me down in terms of not being able to find a hot sauce because one of my favorite goes to when I'm having like Mexican food, something along like that, okay? So you start to build out a story, then so that's the problem. Then come and talk about the solution. Then obviously there's the product, introduce it, showcase it. There's so much you can do in terms of that storytelling element that again, it captures people's attention. And if people are watching it, guess what? They're built into it. They're buying into, like I say, they're not buying into the actual product. They're buying into the solution and they're buying into the creator who's actually selling the actual product, quote unquote. Okay, so that's why storytelling works really well. Secondly, mashup content. And what I say mashup content is basically combining UGC ads. So again, if you're working with multiple creators, you can start to combine in terms of the ads. And again, a brand that does really well, Magic Spoon. So again, they'll have, example, a creator talking, or they'll have like creator shots, but then they'll have a voiceover, okay? And again, it starts to showcase different angles, different people. So again, you can start to utilize that to attract different audiences within that. And again, you combine that with obviously B-roll from different creators, showcase different angles, different perspectives, and they work really well. So I would say if you are using UGC or you're looking to use UGC, definitely focus on the storytelling element and the mashup element to kind of be able to tackle both points of views. And again, you'll get great results by doing this. So that's obviously UGC. Now let's look at static ads that convert. So again, I've just put 3 examples here. Again, there's going to be multiple different static ads that work, but these are 3 of the main ones that we see work across brands very, very well right now. So again, I'm just going to move myself across here. What you got, for example, this one here. This is what I like to call the comparison static ad. So again, you want to have your brand, which obviously kind of goes about the key points, and you want to talk about the competitor, okay? Some brands obviously do this and actually call out the competitor. As you can see here, Heights don't want to be going down no lawsuits. So again, they've obviously got an empty brand there, and talks about traditional multivitamins are full of nasties. But I've seen example brands talk about other brands. And again, it's probably, you want to check in terms of like legally in terms of you should do that. But if not, to make it easy, just obviously have about generic brands in general. So again, talking about vitamin D from sheep wool and all this kind of stuff here. So again, this is the negatives. If you use product A, but if you use that hard product, which is obviously your brand, this is what you get from it. So they work really well. And then secondly, in terms of the brands that kind of have like the USP, so you have the brand product and you just call out USP. So again, nice headline. So again, once you've done your research, and the great thing with this is here, you can literally test 5 different headlines, keep everything else the same. So again, that's like your variables or your headlines, but then you're keeping the rest of everything else the same within that. So here, USP, so again, drug-free, natural derived, clinically tested, okay? So USP is boom, boom, boom. So I call it like USP static ad, and it'll showcase the product. So again, catch people's eyes and needs to kind of showcase what happens. And then this one here can be done in many ways. So again, this is what I like to call the review or the social proof kind of ad. So again, featured on these multiple, like I say, top places. So again, Yahoo, CNN, the New York Times. So again, if you notice it's been featured here, again, that social proof's built. So again, you can utilize it for featured buy, or for example, you can add in reviews from actual customers as well there. So again, test this with reviews, have your product, boom, works really well. And with these, I would say these ads work really well in terms of middle of funnel. So again, have these in there, test them top of funnel, but again, if someone already seen an ad, then again, add these into the middle funnel element of that. They work really well for your actual ad campaigns. So, and then utilizing both. So I'm just going to scroll down a little bit here. I'm going to put myself up here. So eventually using both static and UGC. So again, you have that diversification. Again, so it helps to diverse your advertising content. So again, you start to build out more interesting and engaging content for your audience. Okay. And then again, it doesn't necessarily like help ad fatigue. Well, it does help ad fatigue, but I say it also helps prevent ad blindness. Because if you just got static ads, people are going to get bored of it. The frequency is going to go up and then they're not going to notice it. But if you can have a mixture of UGC and a mixture of static, again, people are going to be like, oh, okay, I remember this brand, but I want to see this video, or I want to see this static ad now. Okay. So that's a great way about it. And the thing is, they both complement each other. So again, like I say, static ads can help to establish a brand's visual identity. UGC can showcase the brand's products in action. Okay. That's great about it. So again, combine them together, they work really well. And then finally, like I say, they maximize effectiveness. So again, UGC ads help to build trust and authenticity. Again, static ads can help push people over the line ready to buy. Because again, in a static ad, you can have, for example, discounts. You can push obviously more products in terms of from that perspective as well. So again, maximize effectiveness by utilizing like both static and UGC. And then finally, how you combine both UGC and your static ads together. So this is how it looks. Top of funnel, you want your storytelling. This is how I would say. Have your storytelling style UGC. Your aim here is to reach your audience, okay? Get in front of them. Yes, you will get results. You will get sales from this, okay? And you'll have low CPAs. But I say the main thing you want to be thinking about is, okay, I want to get this story across in terms of what our brand does. That's what we're going to do with our UGC style ads, okay? So that's going to grab the attention. And then at middle of funnel, you want UGC and static ads, mix it together. You're going for that conversion. So again, the top funnel is going to be building that awareness. You're still going to be like optimized for conversion, but it's going to be building awareness, going after your audience, testing stuff there. And your middle funnel, add UGC and static ads to the mix, okay? Go for that conversion, go for the win, okay? Build it out like this and you will get great results. It's simple as that, okay? So this is what you need to be doing. And like I say, in terms of when you look at other brands doing it really well, like I say, Dr. Squash Show is one I like to refer back to. Like I say, when you look at the ads of time recording this, 80% of the ads right now are UGC content, okay? This is on Meta. So again, these videos, 85% of them are video. And they got about 15% which are static. So again, utilize your UGC, top funnel and middle funnel, and add in your static ads as well. Because again, with your static ads, you can do this retargeting stuff. You can add like limited, like click now. Okay, well, you can't really utilize this as much in UGC because again, if you're talking as from a creator or from a user, you're not going to be saying, oh, sale on that. You can sometimes to a degree, but again, you don't need to be too salesy. You want it to be like, just it's like someone talking, like you talk to a friend basically. Okay, whereas obviously your static stuff is coming directly from the brand, so you can be more aggressive with your actual marketing. So I hope that all makes sense. I hope that kind of like gives you a clear indication in terms of whether to use UGC, static, where to be utilizing it as well, and how you can maximize this within your campaigns.